Hello, my name is John Hughes. I'm the head of physical education at Hatton Academy, and I'm just going to talk you through our new BTEC First Award in sport and the contents of that course. Preparing participants to take part in sport and physical activity. This component is assessed via a controlled assessment task, which allows learners to take their notes into the examination session with them. It's a 5-hour-long assessment task and covers a variety of different aspects. For example, students will have to talk about the needs and provision for a sport participant, and then move on to identifying the barriers to that participant, and consequently then talking about how to overcome those identified barriers. The task will also ask them then to discuss the equipment and technology in a sport of their choice and link it to the participant in the controlled assessment task. And then for the final task within component 1, they will be asked to plan a warm-up, and as a follow-up to that planning, they'll then be required to lead a warm-up to a small group, carrying out the planning that they've previously sort of taken part in. And that's the end of component 1. Component 2 is all about taking part in sport. Again, it's assessed via a controlled assessment of 5 hours. So we do all the teaching about the rules and regulations of different sports, and students also have to show a limited amount of practical ability within their chosen activity. And again, we would have to video record that as evidence. And they also have to deliver a coaching session in that same activity to one of their peers. So they would select a skill and take them through the various stages of a coaching session in order to potentially improve that skill. As I said, that's assessed by a controlled assessment, which is 5 hours long, where students can once again take their class notes into that controlled assessment. Component 3 is all about developing fitness to improve other participants' performance, and this is a very different method of assessment. It is an 1.5 hour exam, which has to be sat at the end of the course, excuse me, which will be in year 11. We don't mark any of that here. Everything is sent away to be externally marked by Pearson. And this one is worth the most in terms of marks, it being worth 40% of the final mark, and the 2 previous components worth 30% each. So this is obviously worth slightly more. The content for the exam includes components of fitness, testing and training methods, and also the design and delivery of training programs. As I've just said, we've got 3 components. 2 are internally assessed, and the last one is an external exam. The exam being marked out of 60 and being an 1.5 hour long, and as I've just said, is worth 40% of your final mark. Grades at the end of the course are awarded in terms of level 1 pass, merit and distinction, as is the case with current BTECs which are run within the Academy. You can resubmit these units if that's required, and that will be completed. Obviously, the resubmission is offered at the end of each course. You do need the ability to not just make detailed notes on this course, but you also have to make sure that you can organise yourself and make sure those notes are in logical order, so that when you take them into the tests or the controlled assessments, you can follow them easily and can produce a logical answer to the set tasks. The examining unit that we'll do in year 11 does require you, as per any other examination across the Academy, to give it some of your own time to attend some school revision sessions, and also to revise in your own Just an example of some of the students that are currently following the course on our Year 10. And any extra questions that we could think about? There's no requirement to be a high-level practical performer. You do have to show some skills in order to complete that activity to a reasonable sort of level. And the vast majority of lessons will be theory-based, so you need to make sure that you are prepared for that and don't think that you'll be doing loads and loads of practical activities. Whilst you will, there is also the requirement, and you need to know that the majority of the lessons will be practically based. And if you need to get in touch, my name is John Hughes, and my email is hughesj@hattonacademy.org.uk.